you find yourself regularly using the old jump cables, there's a reason for that, and you need to find that reason before you go and change your battery. And in this video, I'm going to go through a couple of things what you might not even know about, so stick around and give us a like and a subscribe.
The first thing I want to draw your attention to is if you go to a place, this is a brand new battery, it's supposed to be brand new, guy got it from somewhere else, not from us, I'm now testing it. Now if I test it as a new battery, it will give me a result of good battery, which is fantastic, and you can give that to your customer and everyone's happy. However, if we change the parameters, as you'll see shortly, and we just put in the actual size of the battery and put that it's in service in the vehicle, we get a completely different result. We still get a good battery result. However, we do get a result of the actual ampage of the battery, which is actually quite surprisingly not as much as what the guy thought it was when he actually paid for an 850 amp battery. He ended up getting a battery that was 120 amps less than he paid for. Not good.
And actually have those results here, so it's much easier for you to actually see. So essentially what they'll do, these places, these sort of maybe not as scrupulous as what we are, they'll sell you a battery and they will select a fantastic tester like what we have here. It's a really good Exide Midtronics tester, and they'll select battery age, new battery, location out of vehicle and rating 850 amps. Then they'll print it out and it will simply give a result of essentially good battery. So that is a bit of an issue. You get good battery and you think you've bought a great battery. Now, if we actually do the same test, but slightly different parameters, and we actually put in 850 in service, not new, it will give you 730. Well, that's a massive difference of 120 amps cranking, indicative of the fact that the battery's been stored incorrectly. So straight away, you're onto a hiding, aren't you? So you buy a battery, it's not perfect, you think it is, but that could also continue your issues ad infinitum down the road, leading on to point number two. Point number two is if you do really, really short journeys and you start out with a so-called new battery that's already discharged, it's not going to be able to top it up the alternator. If you're doing like 2 or 3 miles in a day to the shops and back, or to take the kids to school in cold winter weather like this, it's never going to get the chance to fully charge the battery to the level it should be charged at if it's already discharged and if you've already got an existing battery drain problem. This is off a car that only last week, it was the main cable that powers the fuse box inside the vehicle, and it had actually burned out, and the customer had changed the battery thinking he had a massive battery voltage problem, but in fact he had a fire problem, and we caught that just in time. That could have actually destroyed his vehicle. When mechanics like us, we think we've got a drain on your car, we'll use one of these, it's an amp clamp, and we'll put it around the battery negative cable, we'll lock the car, and we'll come back after half an hour and we'll see if it's got a drain. If you've got this value, you've got a drain. If you've got less than this value, you haven't got a drain usually. Could be intermittent, but usually it's not. That's something you need to check out, isn't it? There are many, many different modules on BMWs, lots and lots of control units, lots of wires, lots of sensors, but mainly control units. On BMWs, on any other car, if you've got one of these that ain't sleeping, an engine ECU here, for example, bit of an extreme one, but if you have any type of control unit that ain't sleeping, this could cause a massive, massive problem. You could think that your battery's knackered. In fact, it's probably just a control unit wearing your battery out. So you have to check those things.
On some of the older vehicles, particularly the E-Class vehicles, you have to check the trunk floor on a regular basis if you have a battery issue because they do rot and they do corrode. So make sure you check that because that can give you the symptoms of a bad battery. Equally, so can a bad ground. Main engine ground can give you a massive flat battery type symptom when the starter is extremely sluggish starting over the engine. If you find you have any problems with K-CAN in particular or any part of the CAN bus, it can prevent control units from sleeping, which will stop them from switching off, and they will then drain the battery higher than that amount of 1 amp as I mentioned. So that is something you must check. If you have K-CAN fault codes, that's probably the source of your battery drain.
I'm coming to the end of this now. More or less the last one is the alternator itself. Old alternators, the brushes will fail because they're just made of carbon, they wear out. Newer alternators, you can have LIN bus faults. You have a LIN bus fault on them, not usually a problem because the alternator cannot regulate its own voltage without LIN control, without smart charging. So check your alternator because that's something that people, believe it or not, they do actually overlook it. They even overlook things like belts falling off, which stops your alternator working, not just the fact that the alternator could be worn. So there are 2 things you need to check as well. Of course, you should have 14 volts, 14.5 volts, depending on the load. Instead of, if you don't, you'll have 12 volts when the alternator wears out. And very lastly, it applies a lot to BMW, but it can apply to any brand if you have to register battery. If you go and buy a battery, let's say it's got a 90 amp hour rating, and they go and buy an 80 amp hour, but it's registered as a 90. They do two things wrong. First of all, they don't register a new battery change, so the system in the car doesn't understand there's a new battery. And secondly, they're using a less powerful battery when the system thinks it's got a more powerful battery. It's extremely important that you do the job right, because if you don't, the battery sensor on the negative terminal of the battery will send the wrong data to the engine ECU, and then that'll then send the wrong data on CAN bus to the body module, and then the body module will start switching things off, probably when there's no need to. And again, you might think you've got a battery problem, you have under voltage fault codes or switching off terminal 30 fault codes, basically only because it's got the wrong battery data. So I hope you enjoyed that little video. Please give me a like, a subscribe and a thumbs up, and some comments please about what content you want in the future. Thank you very much. See you soon.